What's up YouTube? Welcome to another video by Andrew. So this is my first review based on The Undertaker versus Brad Wyatt. It was at WrestleMania. One thing that's always good when you talk to everyone on Twitter, and as you know, WrestleMania was last night, so we got to hear the huge reaction from the fans and at the same time what everyone thought. There was not that much of a build-up because, as you know, WWE's plans were to keep Undertaker off until WrestleMania. There was apparently some information where he was going to come. He maybe was going to come on that Raw that Sting showed up, but they decided to keep him off, keep him up to WrestleMania. And I thought it was good. It was something different. And when you saw Brad Wyatt's entrance, it was good. He's always good. The last two WrestleManias, he had two good entrances. But it was just really the big question was, how is Taker gonna look after that physical showdown between him and Brock Lesnar at last year's WrestleMania, which was WrestleMania 30. We all thought that was the end of Undertaker. It was his last career. It was his last match. It was pretty much the last time we would see him in the WWE ring, but he proved everyone wrong. Early in the year, I saw photos of him training. This was around about, I think, the time at Royal Rumble, and he looked in great shape. I've never seen him like that over the years. The last time he looked to me in good shape was towards WrestleMania 25. But when you just see his entrance, even now, I may be 24 years of age, but even now, it's still that music gives me the chills. And whenever he comes, my heart just feels like it's pumping so fast. And when he comes and hearing that music, it just gives me a huge chill. And it's just always a pleasure to see that man coming and making his way down the ramp. The way I actually put it on Twitter. You can follow me right now in the description below in the video. You can see my Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. The way Taker made his appearance was kind of the same getup he wore around about WrestleMania 20 and WrestleMania 21, where he dressed up with the normal jeans and the same top. He did this 2 WrestleManias in a row. That was when he was coming into the back as the old Lord of Darkness, the Phenom, the Undertaker. The build-up was, I thought the build-up was satisfaction for me. We knew Undertaker was going to be kept off from live TV, so Brad Wyatt had to carry it on. And I gotta say, for a guy that came up with the idea of his gimmick and does his promos, he was fantastic. He made this match special. I watched one of my friend's videos on YouTube. What is his name again? Vintage. I watched his video response and his review. I kind of agree with and disagree with some of the things he said. But what he said, I agree with him sometime on some of his points. But I disagree with him in terms of, I thought the build-up was great. Brad Wyatt did a really good job carrying on himself. It would have been more interesting if Undertaker made an appearance, but I think, and the fact is, how was Undertaker? Was he physically up to showing up Monday Night Raw? And he just had to pick up a microphone. But I like the fact that they kept him off. And when he came at WrestleMania, he looked in brilliant shape. For a guy who got a beaten last year's WrestleMania and had to go emergency, this kind of reminded me of WrestleMania 27 when he faced Triple H. And after he faced Triple H, he couldn't walk off. He was on a stretcher and then they took him off. And then he came back at WrestleMania 28. He looked great. 29, he looked good. And then, of course, 30, he just, for some reason, didn't look good. I personally felt he was going to take a break and wrestle at this pay-per-view. Instead, he didn't. He wrestled continuously at WrestleMania 30 and then WrestleMania 31. Bottom line is, it was a great match from my opinion. The whole gimmick, like the first couple of minutes, it was the stare down between the Phenom, the Lord of Darkness, the man who is the devil's favorite son, the demon, and you have the new face of Fear, who wanted to make a mark on himself to prove that he is now the new Fear Factor. He's the new face of Fear. He is the new devil. He's the demon's favorite son. And when these two collide, it was brilliant. The thing I loved about this match is, and I said in my previous video, that for this to be a good match, it doesn't have to be a fast-paced match. And this probably was a decent WrestleMania in recent years, but this was a good pace match. It was slow, fast. It was really good pace. And this was a match, when I did this video, I was not sure if Undertaker was going to win or Brad Wyatt was going to win. I didn't mind at all who was going to win because, to me, from my opinion, I don't think we ever I never thought they were gonna make the Undertaker lose 2 WrestleManias in a row, especially for what he's done so much at WrestleMania. It would be unfair. But if Undertaker did lose last night, it just shows you what kind of a superstar he is, and I put him right up there with Shawn Michaels and Jericho. They do what's good for the business. For him, it was good. The whole story is that what was he gonna be like? Would he be the same? And he proved once again, like he always does, that he is still the demon. This is still his yard. It's still his ring, and he proved why you should never think twice when it comes to the Undertaker. He does such a great job. He doesn't even have to do promos. This showed you that he's still in great shape. And as you know, WrestleMania 32 is in his hometown, Houston, Dallas. I think it's Houston, Texas. So it'll be great for him to finish his career in his hometown, and probably in the same year go into the 2016 Hall of Fame class. Good match for him, well deserved, and to have a record now with 22 wins and 1 loss. The streak may not stand anymore, but the fact is now he is the only guy to lose just once at WrestleMania. I think Stone Cold has lost twice. Stone Cold has lost twice. So Edge has lost, I think, once or 2 times also at WrestleMania. I'm not too sure. I think it is 2 times. But the fact is that The Undertaker is still one of the best, and it is a privilege to have grown up watching him wrestle all these years, giving us matches. This was a match where win or loss, it doesn't matter. Both superstars are my favorite. People criticize Brad Wyatt. I don't know why, but to me, he earned this match. And I honestly wanted him to win it because he's the next guy. When Undertaker leaves, he's the only guy that's going to carry that dark gimmick on. But the thing I loved about this match, which I agree a lot with Vintage, is they didn't make him weak. He kicked out over Tombstone. I would have liked to see an Undertaker do a last ride and a chokeslam, but I don't think he did a last ride, and I think he did a chokeslam, but they made Brad Wyatt look strong. And what I love was the showdown between Sister Abigail and the Tombstone. It was a nice finish. The match was a good pace for Undertaker. He looked really good at the start, and then as the match went on, you kind of saw that Brad was looking stronger. And when he did the spider and Undertaker did his normal gimmick, it was just a brilliant showdown. You knew it was going to happen, but it was a brilliant showdown. I love every moment of it. And at the end, the Undertaker picked up a victory, and it was a good match. From my opinion, it's a good match. I would give it a 4 out of 5. Definitely, it was a good match. It wasn't as thrilling as it could have been, but the fact that the Undertaker didn't show up and helped Brad do the promos, Brad Wyatt pretty much carried this match. It was a brilliant match. I would definitely give this a 4 out of 5, and props to WWE for pulling this story. The question is now, what is next for both two men? Brad Wyatt is coming with 2 WrestleMania losses in a row. Last year, I felt he should have beaten John Cena, and it was the one thing that John Cena failed to do, which made him look strong. But Brad looks strong coming off the 2 WrestleMania defeats. He is going to be the next guy. And in my opinion, they will push so hard. They have to. They did a good job building him up to WrestleMania. And win or loss, he still comes out strong. That's the thing with Brad Wyatt. He still comes out and he's looking very good. The question is, what's next for him? When you look at Brad Wyatt, Extreme Rules is the next pay-per-view. I think he needs to get into a feed. Maybe if he gets into a feed straight away, he's got to face someone big. I think it's time for Brad Wyatt to face Randy. Randy most likely is finished feeding with Seth Rollins. It's going to be Seth versus Roman Reigns at Extreme Rules for the belt, most likely. Brock Lesnar will probably come and make his appearance at SummerSlam, facing Seth for the title or Roman Reigns. But I think it's time for Brad Wyatt now to face Randy Orton, get them into a 2-month feud. So that starts at Extreme Rules, goes to WWE's next pay-per-view after Extreme Rules, which is Payback. And then most likely, I want him to have a showdown at SummerSlam with someone big. So if they can get him to face The Rock, or if they can get Brad Wyatt to again face Chris Jericho, or maybe even Triple H, this would mean Triple H would have to turn face. It would be a good match. Or this means that now this is time for turning Brad Wyatt into a face. Therefore, you have Brad Wyatt versus Triple H at WrestleMania. It would be at SummerSlam. That would be a good start. Now the future for Undertaker, it's simple. What is his last match? Now this is where I agree and disagree with Vince, because he was saying that he wants the Undertaker to face Sting. The Undertaker to face Brock Lesnar, and I understand why. It makes sense because Undertaker can get justice and he can get revenge for that loss, against Brock Lesnar. But, Undertaker's in good shape, and the way I see it is it's his hometown. I don't think he would love to have another match. It would be good, but I don't think fans would like it that much. For me, it's the most obvious match, which he believes the time is gone, but I don't think so. But I read something, and Sting did say that this is his last match. So, for my opinion, I obviously want The Undertaker versus Sting at WrestleMania 32 in his hometown to be a good match. But the question is, who else is there? Maybe Undertaker versus John Cena? Maybe Undertaker versus Chris Jericho or Undertaker versus The Rock. It's got to be someone that's worthy to face Undertaker. Maybe Undertaker versus Seth Rollins. It's got to be someone he thinks is the next guy, or WWE. We know that WWE are very strict with their creative and they do what they want. But my opponent for Undertaker is maybe he needs to face Sting. If they want to do it, then maybe another showdown between Brad Wyatt. It would be good to have these two face each other again. If not, then the potential opponents for Undertaker is to face Sting, Brad Wyatt, maybe Chris Jericho, or someone from his generation. So if Kurt Angle comes back, these two are in the ring. And to end it, maybe, yes, a Brock Lesnar showdown. But it looks like the match that's going to happen next year's WrestleMania is Brock Lesnar versus The Rock at WrestleMania 32. What do you guys think about this match? I think it's a good pace. At the end, I know a lot of fans would have liked Brad to win, but the fact is, he came out of that match looking even stronger. He wasn't buried. Undertaker didn't bury. To be honest, it's a bit unfair to make him lose and to make it 2 losses in a row. The story they created when he lost, would he be the same? And he proved that he is still the best, and with that 22-1 record. What do you guys think of the streak? What do you generally think of WrestleMania and the match? I thought it was a good match. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. What do you guys think? Put in the comments. There's a description in the video. You can follow me on Twitter. It's Andrew Attitude. So you can follow me on Twitter. Do what you want, whatever. And if you guys want to do videos with me, message me on Twitter or on YouTube. Alright? Thank you very much, guys, and peace out.